Welcome back to the Creative Gap podcast. And today I want to share some thoughts on the importance of fitness, physical health, and how keeping your body well maintained directly impacts your mental clarity, stamina, creativity, happiness, and confidence. For those that follow me on Instagram, you probably noticed that I have been sharing a little bit more of my life in terms of fitness, exercising, my runs, etc. Definitely helps that I'm now training for a marathon. So I'm working out even more frequently than I normally would, kind of lifting 5 days a week, 4 to 5 days a week, and also going for a run 4 to 5 days a week as well. But I never really thought that putting that side of me out publicly was important, but it seems to be resonating with a lot of people in terms of just like getting out, moving, and feeling the importance of fitness and actually, growing your life and being kind of like the best version of yourself. So, over the next few weeks and months, I have been kind of rebranding this podcast and trying to figure out what direction I want it to go. And for those of you that listen to this regularly, it's obviously very filmmaking related, and rightfully so, because I'm a DP, and a lot of you know me through the filmmaking space. But I think part of my passion, obviously, is in the filmmaking space, but I want it to be more revolved around life and how you guys, as creatives, can kind of listen to this podcast and not only gain knowledge and insight about your career, but also your life in general and how to be the best version of yourself, how to kind of create the best life for you and your family. And even though, I have not all the answers at all, I barely have any answers. Hopefully, I could bring on guests and professionals that are able to provide insights that will really resonate with you all. So stay tuned for a kind of a more, updated rebrand of the podcast as I start rolling out some new things coming up. But today, I want to kind of start something new with the solo podcast and just talk a little bit more about something that's really important to me: fitness and physical and mental health. And before I dive into this a little bit deeper, I just want to preface this by saying that I am not some like yogi guru meditation buff. I do enjoy, these things, and I do enjoy fitness and working out. But I don't want anyone to think that because I'm speaking, I am perfect in terms of working out. There are days that I don't want to do it. There are days that I don't work out. There are days that I miss because I'm lazy. I'm not perfect at all. So for those that are listening, don't feel the need to, be perfect, because I'm not perfect at all. Nobody's perfect. But what I do have and what I think I could speak on is it's kind of like the consistency that I've had over the course of 10 years, and just the fact that I have a passion for fitness so deeply ingrained that it's kind of just like a part of me. To start, what I've realized is that if you want to become a better creative at whatever field you're pursuing, whether it's filmmaking, photography, painting, sculpture, musician, whatever, they fill in the blank for yourself. Not only do you have to work on your craft, but you also have to work on yourself as a human. I think working on your health, both physical and mental, is truly the foundation for growth. And the first step of that is taking care of your mind and body. So prior to becoming a DP and pursuing a career as an artist, I grew up as an athlete. And by the time I was about 15, I was already in the gym lifting. And now, fast forward 11 years later, being in the gym, working out, lifting, it has been so integrated into my life that it's pretty much part of my identity at this point. And, it doesn't really require a lot of contemplation to be able to go and lift. I know for a lot of people, the biggest hurdle is actually just getting to the gym. Fortunately, I rarely have that feeling, even though sometimes it is tough to get to the gym. I know that a lot of people don't have like the type of relationship with working out or going to the gym that I do. And I know for some it's very intimidating. You might not know where to start or what to do, which is totally okay. That's totally normal. My goal with this episode is to hopefully inspire some of you to move, get active, and start looking at your physical health as an asset to your life. If you're listening to this podcast, I could assume that you're probably pursuing some sort of creative endeavor, looking to find inspiration to continue to pursue that creative path, or at least have aspirations to do so, even if it's just a creative hobby. Throughout most of my adult life, I've utilized working out or going through some sort of physical challenge to help combat a lot of my mental health, like negative thoughts, self doubt, fears, and occasionally lack of confidence. I truly have no ambition to become a world class athlete or bodybuilder or marathon runner, but what I strive for in my world of fitness is the constant search for challenge and hardship. I know that as a human, humans, all of us as a population, we go through hard times all the time. And we experience moments of failure, slow seasons, financial hardships, lack of support, and worst of all, for a lot of us, comparison to others. But what I have found is that by purposely putting myself through hardships like tough workouts and tough challenges, it forces me to stay present in the moment And it also helps release certain chemicals inside the brain, like endorphins, which help promote feelings of happiness, reduce stress. So, honestly, challenging yourself is really good, and it's something that I highly recommend. Physical activity can also enhance your mood by reducing symptoms of anxiety and depression, leading to a clearer, more positive mindset. I think it's easy for a lot of creatives to think that their only focus in life should be on that creative thing. And, if you're not doing that thing, you might feel lazy. You might feel like you're not, moving forward in your life. You're not moving forward in your career. But to be honest, in my opinion, the journey for you to become, the best version of yourself, whether that is for career or your life, doesn't always have to include that creative path or that passion or that work or the job, for example. There are so many other things to your life, like physical health, mental health, that will also help aid those things. I think sometimes we all get caught in the idea that our identity is directly related to the job or passion or career, when in reality, it's only a fragment of who we are and who we're becoming. My job as a cinematographer is both physical and mental. Regular exercise has been linked to improve cognitive function, better memory, concentration, and overall mental sharpness. The physical side of my job is holding big, heavy cameras around for long periods of time, being on my feet for 12 hours a day, and having the stamina to potentially move the camera in a way that only someone with, a sort of athletic ability could. The mental side of my job includes having to be razor sharp in my decision making. I have to be focused and dialed in on what I'm doing at all times, and I always have to be calm and open minded. By keeping my body in check, eating the right foods, of course, I still indulge in my favorite Reese's and ice cream, mostly chocolate chip cookie dough. I know that I'm preparing myself not only to withstand like a long career, but a long and healthy life as well. Right now, at this moment, I've started to change the way I engage in fitness. I used to be all about lifting and kind of just more like aesthetic and just kind of getting strong. But as of recently, I got bit by the running bug, and my friend and I are now training for the Honolulu Marathon. This is totally a different type of beast than just lifting. It's a consistent grinding of miles, dealing with your mind, telling you to stop after a certain distance, or like, why am I going to go for a run today? You could just do it tomorrow, do it tomorrow. And honestly, it's really hard. It's probably one of the hardest things that I've done. And, it's easier to do it because I have a friend that's also doing the same thing with me. So there's accountability. But when your legs are feeling sore, you're tired, you do not want to run. But after that first mile, you start feeling loose. And then once you're done, you're grateful that you actually went out and did the thing. On these runs, I constantly contemplate, why am I doing this myself? It's just easier to sit at home. It is. But what does that do for you? Nothing at all. By willingly putting yourself through hardships, you are preparing your mind and body to withstand hardships that life will put you through. There are times that I'm ready to give up, but I know that I made a promise to myself that I wouldn't quit no matter how hard it gets. If you're just starting out in your fitness journey, my biggest piece of advice is to take it slow. The one thing I see often is people just get hyped up. They get a sense of inspiration that they're going to change their life, change their body, change their mind, and they go right out of the gate 200% with no previous experience. I know that this could lead to burnout, injury, confusion, lack of confidence. And my advice is really to recognize where you currently are in your level of fitness and ask yourself, what is it that I want? Do I want to lose weight? Do I want to put on muscle? Do I want to do both? Do I want to be able to run 1 mile? Do I want to be able to run 2 miles? Or honestly, it doesn't even have to be a fitness related thing. It could be as simple as, I want to be able to play with my kids for 15 minutes longer and not be out of breath. Find that purpose and find that reason to start, and use that as your guide to navigate how you will start your fitness and health journey. What you put into your body is equally, if not more important than the actual physical work and act of working out. So take into consideration the food that you're consuming. That in and of itself is a podcast episode, and hopefully I could, find and navigate a potential nutritionist that would be willing to come on and talk about the actual benefits of proper nutrition. And especially as us creatives or freelancers, we're working 10, 12 hours a day, I think there could be some insight on to how to still eat healthy when you're working these types of hours in this type of job. And lastly, make sure you prioritize rest. It may take time for your body to adjust to new level activity, so don't get discouraged if you feel tired or sore. It's okay. Listen to your body, take rest if you need it. But what you should expect to get out of this long term is consistent boosts of energy levels, making you feel more alert, focused throughout the day, and a boost of self worth, confidence in yourself, reduced stress and anxiety, increased physical ability, mental clarity, and overall, you'll just become a better, more well rounded version of yourself. And I know that for some of you, it's easy to say, I don't have time. I have this going on. I have that. I get it. I know that you don't need to be at the gym 6 days a week for 2 hours at a time. It's, unreasonable for everybody to be able to do that. Even me, I have a hard time doing that. I think the easiest way to look at finding time for fitness is just looking at your schedule, looking at the life that you created, and figure out, how do I have an extra 30 minutes to work on myself today? And you don't need to go to the gym. You could do push-ups, you could do squats, you could do crunches. Maybe you can go to the gym for 30 minutes 2 times a week. Go for a walk, go for a little run outside when you wake up in the morning. Maybe wake up 30 minutes earlier than you're used to. Kind of just look at your life and how you've designed it at the moment and find a way to implement one of the most important things in the world is your health and well-being. As I wrap up today's episode, the last piece of advice is just find the type of fitness that works for you. Bodybuilding might be for one person, CrossFit might be for another, yoga, Pilates, whatever it is for you. It might take a little bit to actually go and find that thing for you, but I highly recommend you try a bunch of different things, because the one barrier that I find with fitness that a lot of people seem to start and then finish because they truly just don't enjoy it, and they think that they need to go to a gym and lift to actually, you know, that is what fitness is. But in reality, you don't have to do that. You could find a different type of fitness that is better suited for you, that you actually enjoy doing, which reduces the barrier for you to actually go and do the thing. So that's it for today's episode. Hopefully you found some insights in what I was sharing today. If you have any questions, if you want to start your fitness journey, feel free to message me at Carlo Stiggs. Again, I'm not a personal trainer. I'm not certified. I'm not a coach. I'm not a nutritionist, but hopefully I can point you in the right direction. So thank you for listening today. Hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. I will see you next time. Peace out. So thank you for tuning into another episode of the Creative Gap Podcast. Hopefully you enjoyed today's episode, and if you did, there are a ton of other episodes for you to listen to as well. Check us out on Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, wherever you want to get your podcast, you can find it. Also, be sure to check us out on Instagram at Creative Gap for future updates, upcoming guests, and a lot of short clips. And if you want to support the podcast in a deeper way, feel free to join our Patreon community. And for those of you who already joined the Patreon community, thank you. And for those of you who are new to the show, welcome. Hopefully you enjoy it. And for those of you who have been here for a long time, thank you. So that's all we got for you today. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode. We'll see you next time. Peace out.